It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. Thank y'all so much for stopping by today. Living in a small city in the Philippines has its challenges, but of course, this is your live stream. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. First of all, let me welcome all of my new viewers and subscribers to the live stream. Also, those of you who can't catch it live, who will be watching it on the replay. NTZ crew, I see you're in here. Michael Beecher Live. I think I see Jacob Tanjay already. Really appreciate it. I just want to go over a few things before we get started. First of all, the peso is 57.11. 57.11 pesos to the dollar. Exceptional. Unbelievable. And if you're over here right now, you should be exchanging some of those dollars. Now, everybody knows, if you didn't know, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., he suspended the mask mandate. But according to a recent poll, most Filipinos will continue to wear that mask. And that's what I've experienced out here. I'm continuing to wear mine. Even though my mask protects the next person, it doesn't protect me. It doesn't do me any good if no one else has on a mask. But according to the WHO, the pandemic is coming to a close. You know, they said they're seeing the lowest numbers of new cases daily since it started. And it's a great opportunity for these countries to take advantage of it and go ahead and wipe it out. So things are basically almost back to normal over here. You just see people wearing masks. I saw where collectibles for you. He says, what happened to the 3-person relationship video? That's coming up. But I've got a better one coming up. My next video is a whole lot better than that. But that's coming up. I got that for you. Trust me. Leroy Day says, hello, Big Cal. How much can I get a good apartment for in San Carlos or near where you live? Well, I did a video here recently where one of my subscribers, he lives in the apartments. It's 175 US dollars, 10,000 pesos per month. And that's a 1-bedroom. You can add another 11,000, another 1,000 onto that, Leroy, for cable and internet. So 11,000, which, let me give you an example of what that would be. Since I got my laptop out, it won't take long for me to do that. It's going to be, let's see, 11,000 divided by 57.11. You're looking at $192. But if you take off the cable and internet, it goes down even further. Beach of Life says, great thing about small cities in the Philippines, they have beaches too. Yeah, we've got a beach. We got several beaches close here. But one of the things that is a challenge here in a small city, because I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages, is we don't have access to a lot of the items, food items, material items, clothing that you would have in a big city, because big cities have big malls. And I was just reminded of this when I was in Cebu the last few days. I'm back home now. And it just reminded me how much Cebu was like home. You don't really skip a beat there. If you've got the money, you can live just like you did at home in Cebu. Everything, all the food, my grapefruit juice is there. My infusion is there. The nightlife, the movie theaters, a lot of the things that I like to do are there that aren't here. There's no nightlife here. There's no movie theaters here. Those are some of the disadvantages. What else did I write? Yeah, hospitals. See, in Cebu, they got great hospitals. Changhua Hospital, Doctors Hospital. Here, they really have like general hospitals here. Hey, Mitch, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'm on Tuesday morning Philippine time, Thursday morning, and Sunday morning. So then you can adjust that to your time. But the hospitals here in St. Carlos City, they got a good one. Doctors Hospital, St. Carlos City Doctors Hospital, but it's a general hospital. So if you had a real serious injury or illness, they wouldn't be able to treat you. They could get you prepped to send you out somewhere else. And a lot of times when you're in these small cities, you're far distance away from the bigger places. Unless you live in one of the, like take for instance, Dumaguete. Now, I don't consider that a small city, even though it really is. Technically, it is. San Carlos City is actually bigger than Dumaguete and actually has more people. But the way Dumaguete is set up, it's set up as a big city. There's the big malls, the big hospitals, because, it's become a tourist place, an expat destination. But if you lived in Dumaguete and you wanted to move outside of Dumaguete in one of those small municipalities like Darwin, Bacone, Valencia, Zamboanguita, Shatten, see, you could do that, but these wouldn't be considered small cities. Shatten, I guess it would, but a lot of these other places that I named, they're more municipalities. But let's talk about some of the advantages. Now, of course, advantages means there's no traffic or little traffic, means cleaner air, which is what I really like in St. Carlos City. There's a lot of wide open spaces here. It has that hometown feel, like everybody knows everybody. And you like that. Of course, there's low crime in these smaller cities. So it's a give and take. I love it here. And most of the time, people always ask me, how did I get into St. Carlos City? It's because Maryland's from St. Carlos City. And that's usually how it works over here. If you're smart, you'll live wherever your wife is from. If you met her in Cebu, you probably want to live in Cebu, even though she may live in a province somewhere where she's familiar with the surroundings, where she can show you around. Because when you take Filipinos out of their environments, man, they're lost, even in their own country. The further you go away, the worse it is. Because a lot of times, remember, there's all these dialects over here. She can't speak the language. She doesn't know anybody. She has no family. So I always suggest, it's up to you, because I'm going to tell you something. The guys that come over here, they don't do anything I suggest, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. I just give you my experiences. But they just don't do it. I told one guy, I said, look, man, the girl he's coming over to see, I said, look, she's already been with a guy over here. She's got a broken heart. He must have really put it on her. Don't fool with her. Well, he's hell-bent on fooling with us. Okay. It's your life. It's not me. But I'm just telling you, I wouldn't do it. Even though she's a nice woman. I mean, he must have really, I know for a fact he broke her heart. So you're going to get a rebound at the most. But if you're not going to live here, then what difference does it make? I guess that's the way he's looking at it. Hey, Geechee Lang said, good day, Cal. I'm still around. It's hell. I know. It was hell for me. That's why I left. I've got several good videos coming up. Where's my buddy Eric Terry? What's up, man? Can't wait till you get back over here, man. We need to make another Thailand run. I don't want to say too much on that. But sound like you had a pretty good time. Hey, Moments with Mitch says light up the like button. Yeah, guys. Hey, Yusuf, there's RC. What's this? Kahil? Dowry? Put a muzzle on that pit bull. He said, turn on the lights, Cal. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Good for reminding me. No wonder I'm so damn dark. I can't see myself. But a lot of times it has nothing to do with these damn lights. It has to do with what's going on outside. But yeah, if I could do it all over again, which I can, obviously, boy, I'm tempted, boy, to move to Cebu because I tell you, I really forgot how much I like Cebu. With that Ayala Mall, and there's just so much to do in Cebu. So many places to see. But now that I'm here, I've adjusted to it. Because one of the things that an advantage of being in a smaller city is the rent. The cost of living is lower. And that's really what it is. Because I can always go to Cebu. It's only about 3 hours away. If I catch a taxi, it's only about 2.5 hours away. Because I took a taxi yesterday to get home to check on Booby. She's okay now. But charge, 2,000 pesos, which if you take the Grab, it's about half of that. If the Grab will take you, though. A lot of them Grab guys, they get. Well, what I found out was it's not the driver who chooses the pickup. I was talking to a driver the other day. He said, no, this is coming from the main office in Manila, the dispatcher in Manila that controls all of that, where you go and all of that. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. Hey, Germaline Abella. She says, watching from Palampus, South Carolina. St. Carlos City. Thank you for joining us. May says, Cal, what's the best dating site to meet someone before I come over? Can only stay about 5 days, not counting my flight time. Wow. Well, any of them, really. I met Marilyn on Filipino Cupid. There's Cebuanas.com, Cherry Blossom. They're all on the same women on the same dating sites. But I would, at least, you're playing the game. And that's what I mean by playing the game, guys. A lot of times it has nothing to do with, there's nothing wrong with getting online, but I just want to give you the risk that you take when you go online. RC in Jacksonville, thanks for that super chat. He said those brownouts are negative for sure. We're investing in solar for our house. Laid back lifestyle. The quiet life is a plus for small cities and provinces. Just depends on what you want. Exactly. And like I said, I like it here now. As a matter of fact, I love it here. It's just when you go to Cebu, you realize how much you're missing. They got that IT Park. When that guy said, hey, IT Park is boring, he was a troll, guys. Trust me. IT Park is not boring. But yeah, I would love to be able to afford solar right now. The next thing we're getting put in is this water tank. Because my water pressure some days is just so low. And I know what it is, especially in the morning, because the people around me who have the tanks, the way it works is at night, the gravity pulls the water out of the line into the tank. And then when you wake up in the morning, your tank is full. So when you cut on the shower and everything, you get greater pressure. Gary Walker said, "You coming here for 5 days? Come on, man. Hey, if you can only get over here." I know two guys. They both work for the airline though. They came over here for 1 day because they could easily get a flight and go back. There's the one guy who I told you guys about. Yeah, he was here for 3 days. Got their Filipino tune-up, went right home and started the paperwork. Only thing that happened was, they can't see you. Only thing that happened was, found out that his girlfriend was already engaged to a Japanese guy. And of course, the best friend told him, "Honey, you can't do that."
Why is it?
Because I can't see. It's so dark. I don't know why.
Maybe in your...
Maybe I need to get closer. Let's see. But I don't know. But anyway.
I think in your...
Can y'all see me better now?
No, close up to it.
No, it's okay.
Then...
No, but this is going to make it brown anyway. It don't matter. Yeah, a lot of times, see, it's back to being dark again. But that's okay. I guess that's a little better. But anyway, it's a guy over here right now. The woman he was dealing with, she was married already. And the only reason he found out was, I think the first cousin told him. Now he's with the first cousin. That's how it works over here, guys. You got to reward somebody for giving you the 411 like that. But yeah, he said, the woman he was with, I think he was real serious about the lady. They were getting married, or they got married or something. Hey, Ray, and come to find out. Hey, Jennifer P.Y., this is my buddy from Save More. I thought she was the manager for all those days. Because she wears a black uniform. Oh, no. There's bar girls in small cities. Merlin said there used to be a nightlife here, but I guess somebody put their foot down and said, hey, no more bar scene here. But there used to be, Derek. And, it's the world's oldest profession. That's going to be everywhere. Hey, Camilla. He said, "Hi, Cal. My husband's finally going to the Philippines after more than 20 years. Wow, of dreaming of going. Everything is aligned for him. Leave granted and all that. Wish he can see you there. Yeah, tell him to let me know when he's here. Maybe we can set something up. Also, is your husband, is he in the military? 20 years. Wow. Nathaniel Power says that Corey Feldman contacted you. No, it's not real, and I wouldn't care. I don't pay those guys any attention. Hey, Papa Kiko, I think you're in Bacala. What's up, Edwin? He says, hey, Calvin from Kansas City, Missouri. You're over there with Danny from Road to the Philippines. And Danny, I think he's getting close to his 1,000 subscribers. Road to the Philippines. Put that up for us, Beach of Life. So let's help him get his 1,000. What's good, Coach J2 Trio? Again, our condolences about your mother, man. I know you probably back at work on that hamster wheel. As a matter of fact, this guy's a teacher. He's an educator, man. He looks a lot younger than his age. How old are you? Did you say you were 50, Jay? Edgar Castillo says, Calvin, are we spoiling women? I saw your video about Philippines becoming choosy. Seems to be global phenomenon as Colombians have changed a lot since I was there not long ago. Yeah, we're spoiling people because we don't realize that we're the diamond. We're the catch. And we can't get that out of our minds. We can't get that into our heads. See, that's the global phenomenon that it's all about the woman. that the man doesn't matter, but really, when you come over here, man, you're the diamond, you're the catch. You got a royal flush, and if you don't want to play it, then that's on you. What's up, Kamal? Now, I don't know. I remember your old name, man. It's funny. Coach Dern says over 100 people in here, not 50 likes. Come on, everyone, hit the like button. Yeah, I appreciate that. He says, yeah, moments with Mitch says, my friend lives in Cebu. Mitch, did you already get recertified for your AHIP and all that? I finished that the first week of this month. I'm so glad to get that over with. I've got to do that every year so I can receive my renewal income. It takes altogether about an hour and a half, because you have to do the national test, and then you have to test for, I only represent 3 companies, but you have to do that jump. Well, you've already been, I hope for a fact, Jennifer, you are already subscribed to my channel. If not, I would really be disappointed. And also, guys, this next meet and greet is going to be somewhere around October the 3rd, because it's the 1st year anniversary of our house. So Marilyn's going to go and check to see if we can rent that Meg's Beach Resort. I'll know today.
What beach resort?
Not the beach resort, Meg's Resort. It's not a beach resort. And if we can get it, I'm going to put everything on my community page. And if you're somewhere in the area, Cebu, Bacolod, anywhere you want to come to the meet and greet, it's going to be food. You know, I'll buy the beer. Just have a good time. You can go swimming if you want. Music. Of course, lots of nice looking women. Jennifer was at the last one. Her and Rose, they had a good time. King Arthur says, hey, thank you for playing my email, Cal. Come on, King Arthur, man. You know I always reply to emails, and my condolences, really, our sincerest condolences for the loss of your wife. I can't imagine what you're going through. And like I told you, we pray that your family has strength and healing in these tough times, man. I can't imagine that. I lost my mother, and I'm still grieving. It's been almost 30 years. Craig C. says, as a digital nomad, not wanting to live in a city like Cebu, how often does your internet go down in St. Carlos City? I like the slower pace of a smaller town. Not very much. It really doesn't, to be honest with you. We have a brownout every now and then, man. RC in Jacksonville. Okay, I already read that. Sorry. But very seldom do we have a brownout. I was shocked that we had one in Cebu the other day. It only lasted for an hour, but I can never remember having a brownout in Cebu. And I lived there, boots on the ground, for 2 years. Hey, Coach J2 Trill, thanks for that super chat. He said, yeah, 50. Working with kids will keep you young. Let the brother know that 5 days is better than none. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you again in December. You know, I forgot to say that, but I knew 2 guys who came over, Jay, for 1 day. The guy came for 3. One of my wife's friends over in America, her husband, they're married. He only came here for 4 days, but they're having problems because she thought he was a gentleman because he came over here for 4 days. He didn't want anything, right? She thought, oh, he's being a gentleman. He's so nice. Come find out, he's got diabetes. He's on diabetes medications. He can't get it up. And now she's really frustrated, you know, because so it's been like, how many years? Since 2014. So I don't know if she's worked that out some kind of way on the side, but she wouldn't leave, man. You know, she stayed with him. Camilla Cookie, thank you so much for that super sticker. I appreciate you, Wendy and Shelby. Yeah, tell Shelby Smith if he's anywhere near Cebu or anywhere like that, man, I'd love to meet him. There's a road to Philippines. There's somebody on here, Danny, from Kansas City, Missouri. I told them you were somewhere near there. He says, hey, Calvin, I was just sitting here in my living room watching your live stream with the volume turned way down while chatting with my girl. And I faintly heard my channel mentioned. You rock, Cal. Thank you. Oh, no, man, you deserve it, really. We're trying to get you to that 1,000 if you haven't already. He said she getting served. You know, after a while, I think when all else fails, they'll seek somebody on the outside. But a lot of times, though, you know, Filipinos, they're pretty loyal, man. You know. And see, my next video I'm uploading now, I'm not going to tell you because people, they take my ideas, man, they make a video out of it. Which I don't really care as long as everybody gets the information. The Beach of Life, there's Danny of Road to the Philippines. Come on, guys. He got 966. Just punch the subscribe, man. I promise you. He's going to show you a lot, especially if you going down in Mindanao, if your girlfriend's down in the Val area, somewhere around there. He basically takes you on a tour of the place. And you'll get an up-close look at what's going on. Danny, did you ever go to that Eagle Reserve while you were there? Because I never see you post anything like that. You know, those big, they got some big eagles here. Some of the biggest in the world. And that's right around where you live, Danny, where you not too far from where you built that house. But they've got some big fruit bats here that'll scare the hell out of you, man. That's where they get that moo from. You know, because Filipinos, man, they're very superstitious. But what they see is these big ass. Imagine seeing a 4-foot bat flying around. That would scare the hell out of me. Chris Bagasson says, how's little Booby doing? I hope she's getting well. Yeah, she's doing better now because she's all over the place. She's just congested, man. And we finally got her that, what's that thing we bought with the smoke?
Nebulizer?
The nebulizer. So, yeah, she's doing a lot better. Hey, Coach East, what's going on? He's my buddy down in Orlando, Florida. Thanks for the super chaser. Hey, Cal, still saving money. You're coming in, what, March? By the time you come here, man, you're going to need an armored car to bring y'all that money over here. He showed me a woman he's chatting with. I hope you're not sending any of that money to her. But even if you are, hell, it's your business. But yeah, when you got a good plan. See, a lot of us, we can't forego that instant gratification. We want that instant gratification, but you've been able to do that. Which shows a lot of self-discipline. Discipline and self-discipline is two different things, you know. Yeah, anybody can be disciplined when somebody's got their foot on your neck. But are you going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do when it's only you around? See, that's discipline, man. Medre says, Kurt used the ATM to avoid any exchange charges. Yeah, but remember, depending on his bank account or where he's got his ATM, where his money's coming from, they're going to hit you, especially if you're here on vacation. And you may get the money back when you get home through Charles Schwab or one of those places, but they're going to get you while you're here on vacation. It's probably almost when you hit, okay, Philippine bank is going to hit you, your bank's going to hit you, then they're going to throw the international fee on you. If I go to the ATM, it's almost $15. That's a lot of money, man. And that's a fact. Because everybody says that they get their money back, but I've never met anybody personally over here that was getting that money back. What's up, Mike Dawsonville? Said, what's going on, brother Cal? Now I'm back in Florida celebrating my birthday. Yeah, you were here you down in Zamboanga somewhere for your buddy's wedding? Yeah, 4-foot bat hanging upside down outside your front door, scared the hell out of me. Yeah, they be flying around. They've got some on this island, by the way. Derek Casanova says, always let your money stay with you. Man, the best you can. You know, when you get overseas, that's one of the costs of being a passport bro. You got it costs to be the boss. You're going to pay those banks. Hey, Camilla, she said, glad Booby's okay. We got worried. We would try to buy a ticket going there in Cebu. We're from Cabanatuan City. Where's that? Is that Luzon?
Cabatuan City.
Oh, Cabatuan. Where's that?
Part of Mindanao.
Oh, part of Mindanao. Okay. Okay, Bryce. Let me see what Bryce is saying. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Bryce. He says, I came here and married a 31-year-old woman, and she brings out the best in me at 70 years old. I felt 50, not like the U.S. women. This is the best. Yeah, you got a good one, man. And see, I'm going to talk about the green flags that you can look for to if whether or not you want to know if she's the one for you. We're always talking about red flags, so I'm going to give you some green flags on my next video. I think you're going to like it. That tells you to go. You know, green says go, proceed, pursue. It's going to be a good video. But yeah, Bryce, you didn't get lucky, okay? Because most of the women over here, I'm going to say 95% of them are good women. Now, you can't get unlucky over here. And that's the only thing I caution guys about getting on the dating sites, because you have to take your time on those dating sites. If you don't, man, you can get in some big trouble over here. John Gomez says, what's a good amount to exchange at the airport prior to getting the cab? I'm going to say no more than $100 now, because they're busting your head at the airport, John. When my buddy Franz came here, he said they took 4 pesos off the dollar for him. I would get enough. Well, I would even do 50, because as long as you got enough to eat and your taxi ride, because you already probably booked your hotel or Airbnb online, just enough to get you something to eat and everything until the next morning or whatever, until you can get to the mall in one of those real exchange places or the bank. You know, not all banks exchange money. I was shocked when Maryland took some money for one of my subscribers to PNB. They didn't exchange it, did they? They don't do it. But some of them do. But I always go to Save More. It's the grocery store in SM Mall. They've got a big customer service counter, and man, it's usually only like 0.4 pesos that they're making off of it. So if it's 57.11, if you take 0.4 off there, it would be 56.71 they're paying you, which isn't bad. So if you do $100, what's that? 40 pesos or something they're going to take from you. Hey, Road to the Philippines says, Irene and I went to Philippine Eagle Center back in 2019. You can see a couple of videos I did, vlog 38 and 39. Yeah, I kind of figured you probably went there. Those eagles are big. They used to call them the monkey-eating eagles because they eat monkeys. That's how big they are. Oh, okay. She said, no, Maryland, we're not from Mindanao. We're near Angeles City, Pampanga. That one. So it must be 2 of them. Just like it's 2 St. Carlos cities. One is in Luzon, one is here. People get it mixed up. Mike Dawsonville said, oh, yeah, you was in Davao for 2 weeks. Yeah. Man, you should have hollered at my boy TJ down there, the big baller, shot caller. Rich Scales, he says, hey, I love all your videos and the info you give out to people. It's always on point, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks. You know, when I was doing those cheat codes yesterday, Sharon, somebody messaged me, said, you know, Calvin, you were right about that. He said, Sharon's doing a video. She's at the mall. And somebody made a comment, said, there's not many people there. She said, yeah, but you wait for the weekend and it will be. See? And he said, Calvin, you was right on point about that. Yeah, it's just little stuff like that. Because when you come over here, remember, we're retired, we're on vacation. We got to get that weekend stuff out of our mind. Like, man, you're going to catch hell over here. You know how we do everything on the weekend over there? Look at Marilyn. She's sharp today. She's going to the gym. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about on the green flags to look for with a Filipino. A lot of, Filipinos. I want my woman to have a life outside of me. Because if not, it could be problems. Oh, yeah, James B. He said currency exchange will rob you at the airport. Don't ever do that. Yeah. It didn't used to be that bad, though. I promise you, man. That's why I told guys, I used to give advice to tell guys to exchange some at the airport. Because when I was coming here, when I came here in 2018, man, I'm telling you, it wasn't much, man. It was only like maybe like a 0.4 or something like that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, you right now, they busted heads. Because Chris Brian's right here. Thanks for the super chat, brother. He said, what's up, brother Cal? Hope all is well with you and your family. Just a few more days. Yeah, he's coming back.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, go ahead, man. She's happy because Franz deals with one of her friends. But yeah, man, you'll be back. But yeah, he Franz will tell you, he said they hit him for about 4 pesos per dollar. So if you do 1,000, which I think is what he did, hell, they hit him for $4,000. But yeah, man, we got to check out that beach house, man. We'll get a couple more couples and, to make the cost reasonable, because if you get 4 couples in that place, it's $125 per night, which is what you're going to pay for a real nice hotel here. But if you're not going to get anything like that for $125 per night. You can go next door to that White Sands Beach Resort Hotel, which is very nice. But you're not going to get all of that. Highwayman says, been here on your channel for a while. Congratulations, it's growing fast. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I couldn't do it without y'all. Any guys that say, I'll be shocked when people say, man, you meet these. Even Dan from Vagabond Away said, Calvin, I meet some of these YouTubers. He said, their heads are really blown up over in the Philippines. He said, they act like real celebrities. And I was shocked, man. He said, yeah, he said, I met a lot of them. He said, but you're not like that. I said, yeah, because I know it can change all in one day. But not only that, crack cocaine humbled me, guys. I will forever be humble. Okay? And that's a fact. Coach E says, how much cash should you bring with you of American money for 2 weeks vacation? That's a hard question to answer. Really a question nobody can answer. But so I made it simple. I said, bring $1,000 for every week you're here. You shouldn't have a problem. You're probably not going to spend that either. But I would say 1,000 for every week, and then you're not going to have any problems. But the bottom line is bring as much money as you can afford and stay as long as you can. That's my base right there, because it's never long enough. Trust me, man. When you go over, Franz was over for 4 months, man. He got that sad feeling that we all get when it's time to go home. It's like, but I don't know what happens to us. You should be happy you're going back home, but you feel sad. And I'm gonna talk about that. I know what it is. I'm not gonna give up the video, but I know what that is. Kirk says, I'm living in the Philippines now. It's like living in the U.S. when there was no inflation. Yeah, it's like living in the U.S. back in I'm going to say the 60s. It reminds me of like the 50s and the 60s here. You really go back in time when you come over here. And I think that's why people fall in love with this place. It's a throwback, man. It really is. You don't see people sagging here. You certainly don't see people disrespecting their elders. The Philippines is one of the few countries where elderly people actually are treated like elders. They go to the front of the line. They get 20% off, man. That's a lot of money, man. You go to the restaurant or you go to the store to buy something, you get 20% off your purchase. That's a lot. Rich Scale says, brother, if I had my way, I'd be there right now, just waiting on my baby to retire so we can come there full time. I'm retired U.S. Army. When that happens, I will visit for sure. Hey, man, thanks for your service. You know, it sounds so, commercial and so, okay, but it's true, man. I mean that because I was in the military. I only did one tour. But for somebody to be able to retire from the military, we were talking about that the other day and what that takes, man, what that must take to be able to do that. Hey, Sigma Black, thanks for that super chat. He says, my fiance is from Zamboanga City. What's your thoughts on living in that part of the fields and starting a family there? Can you list a few pros and cons? I can. The pros are a lot, man, you know. The people there are fantastic. Period. Bar none. Muslims and Filipinos live side by side because remember, at the end of the day, Muslims are Filipinos. I fear Christians more than I've ever feared Muslims. The thing about Zamboanga City, though, they built these two big, gigantic malls within close proximity of each other. And it's not me saying this. One of the congressmen here said it's the worst use of land they've ever seen. And what it's done, brother, is created Manila-like traffic in Zamboanga City. It didn't used to be like that. Remember, I've been associated with Zamboanga for over 10 years. My son is there right now. But it's got everything that a big city has. It has an airport. You've got they've got good schools there. You know, some of the cons is every now and then they will start they had that siege in 2013. Those fractions over there, those extremists over there, south of Zamboanga, Baziland, Tawi, Holo Salute, they'll get revved up, man, and they'll start something like they did over there. But being in Zamboanga, there's so many police, there's so many military, even U.S. military, foreign militaries over there. No one's ever been snatched from Zamboanga City. And they've got Paseo del Mar, they've got Fort Pilar, which is that Catholic Mass, the church, the cathedral. It's been there since 1800 and something, maybe even before that. It's really a nice place to live, but the traffic's just gotten so bad. That's what made me, I like to visit there, but I couldn't live there now. Highwayman, thanks for that super chat. He says, I'd like to see a video of what you eat on the daily and exercise routine. You look like you're in your 30s. Thank you. Well, I've got a couple on my a workout routine on my channel already, like 3. And then if you go on the Miracles channel, you will see one. It's the same one, but I just did it over there just to kind of give people a general idea. Kurt, hey, thanks for the super chat. He said, for the positivity. Yeah, we need that over here, man. There's so much negativity going on. But yeah, guys, if you ever come over here, if you send me a message, I try to get back to you. Sometimes, because of the 12-hour difference, it's hard for me to set up a chat or anything, but if I'm available, I talk to you. Harvey Garner says, Cal, do the schools teach in English or local language? They're going to teach the local language is the first, and English is second. If you go to a private school, some private schools over here, like when my son was in the first grade down in Zamboanga, he went to a private school. English was primary, but most of the time, English is secondary here. But they teach it. Hey, Twin says, salute to you, Cal. Do you know when they will let the unvaccinated enter the country? Well, I'll tell you, when he's saying this mask mandate, that's a move in the right direction. You don't have to wear a mask here. It's your option. I didn't think I'd ever see that. So maybe they will. I have no idea, but maybe they will. I'm pretty sure they'll probably put you're going to lose half your vacation in quarantine. Tall Barber says, what's that shirt you wear, brother? Want to get something made for you that fits your channel. I appreciate your consideration. I wear extra large in America, but probably a 4X here. You know, remember the sizes are 3 times bigger in America than they are here. So if you wear a medium here, you would wear a 2X. Believe it or not, that's true, guys. It's hard to find clothes over here. Unless you go to somewhere like up in Angeles City, Manila, where a lot of foreigners are, especially Angeles City, where you got a lot of retired military. See, they dictate what goes on a lot up there and what's being offered. That's one good thing about living in a place like that. See, Fred, he said that walking street and all that's just a small part of Angeles City. He says much more than that. Well, he said ballpark amount to attend a private primary school. We were paying about 15,000 pesos per year for our son. Now, as it gets, he was only in the first grade at that time. Now, Marilyn's daughter goes to a private school here. You know, most of the private schools are religious schools. She gets a scholarship, so part of hers is paid for, and then we pay another 15 or 16,000 per year, pesos. So it's not very expensive. Okay, yeah, we'll be coming from Florida. So yeah, extra large, brother. Hurricane said, Cal, I have a friend that just moved over there. He follows your channel and wants to know how he can reach out to you. I'll put my email up here. That's the first step. Okay, here it is. Thanks, brother. There it is right there, Hurricane. Ryan Jones said, Cal, I'm in a small rural Arkansas town, 6,000 people, small hospital, a few medical clinics, barely a Walmart. Used to live in a city of 300,000. Hope I can find a good place where I come. That would be a good place, would be San Carlos City. But it's many places like San Carlos City here in the Philippines. Ryan, you got to understand, I never heard of this place until I met Marilyn. I never heard of San Carlos City before. So imagine all the other places I haven't heard of, and all up in Luzon. Luzon is huge. Mindanao is huge. There's a lot of places like this. Or you can move into these municipalities. They're even smaller than smaller cities. They're just like a little blip. If you blink, you're going to miss them, but they're really nice places. I lived in Zamboanga. It's about 28 kilometers outside of Dumaguete. I loved it. Moorish American says, get a religious exemption notarized, letting them know that vaccination is against your religious beliefs. Will that work? R68 DVR, he said, the Sunshine Shows, good morning. How big of an impact on travel will the old All Saints holiday cause? Should I move my trip back a week? Yeah, I'd move it back a week, because that's a big holiday over here. That's in November, right? Is that like November the 1st or something? But this is where everybody goes to I guess it's sort of like our Memorial Day. Everybody goes to the cemetery and fixes up the grave sites of their loved ones. But they do that just on a regular basis. But yeah, that's a big holiday over here. And yeah, that's going to interfere with not from you coming over here to the Philippines, but once you get here, it's going to interfere. Any of those big holidays like that, you may have to get on a ferry. Certainly, if you got to ride a bus or a ferry, it is, because everybody's off. And that's how the masses travel over here. You may get an airplane. You may be able to get a flight. Sterlitzen says, hey, Calvin, love your channel. The 20% discount is only for residents. Yes. They've got a senior citizen card, ID. And you just show them. Like whenever Marilyn's mother is traveling with us, wherever we go, McDonald's, wherever we go, we give them that card, man, and they put it in or take it out. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, they really get a 20% discount. That's everywhere. Because they're elders, they paid their dues. We literally stand on their shoulders, but we don't treat senior citizens like that in America. I wish we did. They're one of the most, that was my 90% of my clients were seniors, older Americans. And they're the most scammed people. We running scams on them left and right. It's really a sad situation. I've seen it up close. Yeah, the first week of November. That's what I thought. Yeah, I would tread lightly around those big holidays like that, especially if you're not going into a main city. If you're flying into the main city, then you got to catch the bus or something to one of these little outlying cities. Yeah, you're going to catch hell. Because everybody's off, man. And sometimes I can't, depending on what holiday it is, most holidays, you can't get a ferry out of this place to go into Cebu. It's all booked up for maybe the whole week. Yeah, John Gomez said that's where I would get lost trying to travel in boats and ferries. Well, it's really not that bad. It's reliable, but it's just an inconvenience for foreigners because we're not used to it. So just to get to my house from Cebu, you have to ride the bus or taxi or van to Toledo, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away. Then you have to catch the ferry over here. You can't get here any other way. Unless you fly into Bacolod, then you catch the bus, taxi, or van from Bacolod to St. Carlos City. Yeah, Tall Barber, that is my email address. That's where you start, and then usually I give them my messenger address. Yeah, the Beach of Life says, brothers in the chat, can we get 31 bodies to subscribe to Danny of the Road to the Philippines? Yeah, guys, let's do that for him. Because once he gets on the scene, YouTube will push him out there. He'll get more subscribers and views because YouTube won't touch you until you're out there. And they see you really, really close and they see that people are watching you, then they'll push you out there to a broader audience because they determine who you see on your feed. I know you guys know that by now. Yeah, you don't see a lot of good channels on there because they haven't reached a certain point yet. where YouTube will put them in front of you. Hey, Mo, good to see you, brother. He said, Brother Cal, I have to believe that the woman in the smaller places haven't changed. I think it may be confined to the big cities, BGC, Makati, etc. A lot of times, though, Mo, they don't even change there, to be honest with you. They're so traditional over here. The culture is so thick. That would be a red flag if you see one of these modern Filipino women. A lot of times, Mo, we change them. It's not where they live. It's when they come in contact with a foreigner, we don't even have to move them to our country to change them. Just being involved with us will change the typical Filipino. Because we're taking her all kinds of places, we're spoiling them and everything like that. We change, they can change just from them being associated with us. And then, of course, in the bedroom, we liberate them. They're never the same. As a matter of fact, I am just, messing around, Yusuf. I'm going to make an album. Being new, I can't do that NG, brother. That's one of the things I can't get over here with the Philippines. Nuan, I guess. He said, catch any of the week 1 NFL games, Cal. I always watch the highlights. I always watch the highlights. But you can get them if you got a Fire Stick over here, you can watch them. But then remember, you got to get up. The 1 o'clock game in on the East Coast, you have to get up at 1 a.m. in the morning to watch it. I'm asleep by then. I mean, yeah, I'm in dreamland. The Beach of Life says they're never the same. Yeah, they're never the same. And they also gain weight because of us. Yeah, because 3 meals a day and everything changes when they come in contact with us. It's like we're a virus that comes in here and we infect them, almost like the COVID. It works the same way. But remember, they intentionally put themselves on these dating sites. They put themselves in our path. So they're asking for the COVID. It's like walking around without a mask. They do the same thing when they get on those dating sites. I mean, don't feel bad about it because it's been going on a long time. I don't know why people think that I'm the one. Guy got mad at me because I was talking about the unspoken agreement. Guys, look, that's been going on long before I came on the scene, even before I was born. I'll go that far and say that Americans have been coming to the Philippines, having association with the Philippines, at least since 1899. So if you think I had anything to do with all that stuff, it's just not true. It's been going on. I mean, where have you been? Under a rock somewhere? Okay, Newen. Thank you, AC King. Newen, yeah. Thanks, John. David says $1,500 per month is enough. I'm almost done with that. It's hard to say, David. On the surface, yes. But without me knowing who you are and what you like to do and where you're going to be hanging out, if you're going to be on Walking Street, I say it's not enough. But if you're going to be in San Carlos City, I would say it is. Now, he said it's pronounced Gwen. Yeah, they've been coming since 1899, since the Spanish-American War. And then we colonized the Philippines somewhere around that time. No, the panel's on Tuesday, Butcher. Every Tuesday morning, Philippine time at 9:30, we use the panel. That's something I came up with, but I've seen a couple of other channels that are coming up with the concept too. Philip Jones said, guys, you need to understand many of the girls are very educated. So many have BS or master's degrees. So you plan to think you can outsmart them. Percentages say you will lose. Yeah, see, this is the point I'm trying to make. See, we're getting some bad data. We're getting bad information. And when I give them good information, they don't want it. They're like, well, that's not what I heard, that they're just pushovers. Well, they make it easy for us, and they make it easy for a reason. But we fall into the trap. But some of us, we eagerly play the game. I play the game. I know what's going on, and I don't care. I'm the star of this show. I'm the center of attraction. I'm my own man. I'm happy. So play the game if you want to. The game they're playing over here is a whole lot better than the game I'm used to playing. But if you come over here, and see, that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about. Yeah, Filipinos are women, but they're different. And if you think they're like the women you're accustomed to, and you can treat them and deal with them the same as what you're accustomed to over here, you're going to make a big mistake. There's some things you have to look out for over here. That if you come over here with the same mindset of dealing with women that you do at home, you're going to miss. You're not going to know a good woman from a bad one. I'm going to give you some green flags. Everybody always talks about the red flags. Nobody talks about the green flags. I'm going to give them to you. He said 2,000 a month in Baguio. Well, Baguio has become a tourist trap. So prices are going to be higher in Baguio. But I would say, yeah, as long as you stay on your same level, David, as you are at home. If you're a 2-star in wherever you're from, then come over here and be a 2-star. Don't come over here and be a 5-star. Then your 2,000 is not going to be enough. If you're a 5-star in America, then you come over here and yeah, you can be a 5-star. Then you probably need about 4,000 per month. But the big mistake we make is we think we have more money when we come over here. We really don't have more money. The cost of living is lower, which is different, but we really don't have a lot of money. The $1,000 that you bring over here is still going to be $1,000 in your hand because your thinking is the same. You're still going to see $1,000 as $1,000. You're not going to see it as 57,000 pesos. And so you're going to spend it like you normally would spend 1,000. It's going to go real quick. But as you get adjusted and you stay up, the longer you're over here and you become adjusted to this peso economy and you know what a real deal is, because everything over here is not a deal, then your money's going to go a whole lot further, like it does for me now. See, when I get a electric bill for 8,000 pesos, I'm pissed off. But if I do the exchange rate, you'll say, well, Calvin, it's still only 150. Yeah, but that's a lot over here. And that's how you eventually get acclimated to this peso economy. He said pesos are the only 5 stars these days. Yeah, politicians, I mean, yeah. Brad said Baguio is cheap in rent. Yeah, in rent. But then what about food and all of that? Because food prices here. Y'all made that. I made that video a couple of weeks ago. Man, it's even worse now. The creamer that I buy, you know, the real cream in the pack. I can't think of it. But anyway, listen to this, guys. When it went up to 75 pesos, I was like, wow, what's going on? Then it went up to 95, then 97. I went to the store yesterday, and that same pack of dairy creamer that I put in my coffee is 121 pesos. I could not believe it. I was like, wow. I mean, everything in the grocery store is just skyrocketed up. The peanut butter that we buy, it was 136. You know what it is yesterday? 174. And it's inflation. For me, it doesn't bother me so much, but the local people, man, it's got to be killing them. It's got to be killing them because their salaries aren't going up. Now, Coach Jay went to Baguio. What is it like there, Jay, as far as the cost of living, to get around the places, restaurants and all of that? Is it tourist prices? Because I know he was there when he was here. What's up, Will Rose? Good to see you. You can't buy land here. Well, you can under certain circumstances, but under normal circumstances, you can. Now, if you form a corporation and all of that, but most of us sign a sugar contract. We put it all in the Filipinos' name. You can lease land, but under normal circumstances, you can't own land here. And if you look at the Filipino history, you'll realize why. And they're smart not to let you own land. Remember, they were colonized by the Spanish and Americans. They were treated basically like second-class citizens in their own country. So now that they've gained their sovereignty, why in the world would they want to let a foreigner own land over here? I don't blame them. I wouldn't. Yeah, I love the Philippines too. Well, remember, the Earth is approximately 197 million square miles. Just find a place where you can get in and fit in, man. It is, I love America. It's just too expensive. I cannot live the lifestyle that I want to live in America, but I can over here. One of my next videos is going to be that. It's going to be, a 55-year-old man leaves America and, basically lives a life of luxury in the Philippines for less than $2,500 per month. That's going to be the video. America's gotten so dangerous over there, and it's just so expensive. Of course, those athletes and politicians and the rich people, yeah, it's your heaven over there. Of course, you can, you're the only one can afford to stay there. Why would you leave? But a regular guy like me, who doesn't have bodyguards and security and all of that, man, it became hell for me. They're taxing me, like this guy said, they're taxing me to death, taking 40% of my taxes. It just made it hard for me to live the type of lifestyle that I want to live. I just got, after you work for 40 years, I had worked for 40 years, man, you get tired. And how much more do I have to work to prove my value? It was, you lazy, you just don't want to work. Man, how much longer after 40 years? It should be a crime that a country would even allow you to work 40 years, unless it's something you really want to do. I think you should check out Vlogger Grandpa. I've seen a few of his videos. But what about him should we check out? I don't think he gives you the nitty gritty. I don't think he tells you what it's really like over here. Does he even live here? Is he in the Philippines? But yeah, he's got a lot of followers. He's got a lot of good information. But it's a smorgasbord on here, guys. Take what you want from each of these vloggers and leave the rest. William Salter said, have you heard about the Safety Act that Illinois just passed? I haven't. Hey, thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. He says you really need a nest egg to live 8,000 miles away from your home country. If you think Social Security is going to be it for you with 10,000 in the bank, you will be homeless the first bad accident. Well, you can come back home. See, we're not giving up our citizenship. We're just living outside of America. We're saying, hey, we can't afford it over there. And it doesn't ever seem like, it doesn't mean you're unpatriotic because you say, hey, I can't live the lifestyle I want to live over there. I'm not happy over there. I don't want to work at 60 years old. I don't want to be punching somebody's clock, standing on that concrete down at the factory and all of that, which most of us have to do. Even a college degree is not a whole lot anymore. But what am I supposed to do? Just stay there in America and be miserable and die? Because let me remind you, Philip Jones, why people filed the number one reason people filed bankruptcy over there in America is because of a bad incident. One bad incident. Okay? That's not what, it's not like it's not going to happen everywhere you go. So, but if you take care of yourself, why would you want to live waiting for the next shoe to drop? Don't be stupid. Yeah, have you money so you can get back home. But hell, the same things can happen to me here can happen to me there. I'm just a lot happier over here. And happiness means something, guys. I don't care what you say. It means a lot. What's up, Robert? He said, it doesn't mean you're unpatriotic if you don't want to put up with the 20% increase in violent crime since 2019. Yeah, we're going, all we're doing. I was living on a speck of sand over there. A dot is what I called it. Louisville, Kentucky is 334 square miles. And it's not like I'm all over Louisville, Kentucky. I stayed in my one little neighborhood, Shavley. So I'm even living on a smaller dot. We're exchanging women, jobs, cars, everything. I just wanted something different. The woman you got now over there was somebody else's girlfriend before that, somebody's wife before that. You were somebody's husband before that. You get tired of playing that game. See, what I don't know won't hurt me. If I come over here, I don't have to know, because she may have had 10 men. I don't have to know it, but over there, you know it. It's like, yeah, such and such is ex-wife you're dating now. It's no big deal to people. It's a big deal to me, man. Yeah, I don't wait for the other shoe to drop. If it drops, you can't do anything about it anyway. What did they say? 92% of the things we worry about never happen, and the 8% that do, worrying won't help. So yeah, I'm not going to be a fool. I've got money to get back home, and it's always going to be there. I'm not going to touch that in the event of a bad accident. But if I have that same bad accident at home, I'm no safer than I am over here. And this is a fact. Only build in the Philippines what you can afford to lose. Yeah, only invest as much as you're willing to walk away from. A lot of times you don't even have to build houses over here. Depending, your situation. You may be married, you may have children. It could be your insurance policy, but why even think on that terms? If you want to come over here to be free, really. I spent $20,000, okay, but I'm still free because I can walk away from that. It's not going to bankrupt me. But we come over here to be free, so we don't want the 30-year mortgage and all of that. We don't want to punch the clock. We're tied to that job because everything's tied to the job. Your mortgage, your car payment, your insurance, everything is tied to that job. Matthew says, I can't live on my Social Security in the U.S. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's priced us out. You're not the only one. Hey, all smile says, happiness is not the state of consciousness which proceeds from the achievement of one's value. Great challenge, Sunshine Shoulders. Thank you. Yeah, happiness matters to me. It doesn't matter if I'm got all that money, got all that money over there. I'm paying the bills. I'm not happy. I'm not being fulfilled. I would still live here. I would still live here. He said, Cal, if you won $2 million, where would you live? Here, because $2 million is not a lot of money in America anymore. Because, okay, I win $2 million. How much of that they're going to take out for taxes? Now I'm down to $1 million something. It's not going to last me. That's not lifetime money in America. It's lifetime money over here in different other places. I'm trying to go somewhere where my money stretches further. I got tired of working. I'm sorry, I did. Yeah, I got tired of working, man. Wow, he said 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Yeah, but the man, we always get blamed for it. He said 400,000. Yeah, they're going to take 400,000 from me. So now I'm down to 1.6. And remember, they're going to hit me every time I go to the store. Every time I buy something, I'm going to get taxed on that. Captain Croatia says, Cal, how do you keep such a positive attitude? I love how you're always looking on the bright side of things. Respect, brother. Man, because I've already been through hell. I was strung out on crack cocaine, man. You don't get no lower than that. You don't get no more hopeless than that. I couldn't come but up. Everything does look bright from on that side. Everything's bright, and I just never have forgotten that. And I hope I never forget. But my mother warned me about meddling with drugs and alcohol. It's like she had a crystal ball. She told me exactly what was going to happen to my life if I ever picked up drugs and alcohol. And that's exactly what happened. But that's how I stay positive, man, because, man, I lived in the mud, man, for a long time, man. When I look back on it, I'm like, how did I even make it through that? It's like a miracle for real. Because a lot of my friends did not make it. One of my best friends got AIDS right now, man. We used to deal with the same women, and we did a lot of the same things, man. He's got a death sentence right now. And so many of my friends just never made it. They got killed out there, So, yeah, it's really easy to keep a positive attitude when you escape that burning house that I did. And you think I'm going to turn around and go back in that damn house? I'll be damned. Yeah. I was on the pipe, man. I'm not ashamed to say that, to be honest with you. I'm not the only one, But when people say that, how am I able to keep a positive attitude, man? I was literally raised from the dead. I was dead. I was living among the dead. I was given a new life, and I'm taking advantage of it because it's really not that bad. No matter what happens to me now, it's really not that bad when I think about it. Hey, Bill Nichols and Calvin, you're a hero. Thank you for talking. We made it through it, man. So many guys. I'll give y'all my real life, man, because I know there's somebody on the other side going through that stuff. Yeah, Jason, Cal, when you get it out the mud, you ain't scared of the dirt, man. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I can look back now and be like, man, I really got it made now. It's not so bad here. Like I said, have you ever been hungry and there's nothing to eat? It's not like, I can go to the refrigerator. I'm just too lazy to get up and go to the refrigerator and make a sandwich. I'm talking about when there's nothing. nothing. I spent a Thanksgiving like that before. And I'm telling you, man, it ain't nothing to play with. So yeah, when you find a piece of heaven like the Philippines over here, where they literally roll out the brightest red carpet you've ever seen, and you're treated like a celebrity, you're treated the way that you've always dreamed that you should be treated, that you expect to be treated as a man. It does something to you, man. You know, you become somebody else. And that's what happens to a lot of people when they come over here. I haven't, but I know that the Philippines has it's an epidemic over here right now. AIDS is one of the fastest growing epidemics in Asia. It's happening in the Philippines, but 85% of that is happening to gay men, the new cases. But that doesn't mean anything, because remember, a lot of people around the world, they go both ways. And over here, dealing with gay men is a hustle for some regular guys. So a regular guy may fool with a gay for money and then go home to his girlfriend or his wife. You're damn right. He said you got wisdom from that experience. You're damn right, John, because we take so much for granted, man, until it's all gone. And I think that's what's happening to a lot of us over in America, man. We took it for granted for so long. I remember when I was growing up, you didn't even have to leave the west end of Louisville, or the West Louisville is what they call it now. They don't want you to call it the West End. But anyway, you had the great jobs were there. Everything was there. But then all of a sudden they took all that away. The jobs were gone, all the manufacturing jobs and all of that were gone, man. We didn't have nothing. And now here it is, let's see, 50 years later, and you're still earning the same amount of money as you were back in the 70s, man. Something's wrong, man. We taking that life, a good life, for granted. It'll never come back again. America will never be the same again. And when I see guys over there, and it's their money, they can do whatever they want to do with it. They're spending money like it's going to be around forever. These guys, these young guys. Man, this one guy's got a $24 million diamond in his damn forehead. Like, you stupid idiot. What are you doing over there? You know, how many people you can help with that kind of money? See, when I see people doing stuff like that, it just bothers me. Oh, man. But yeah, it's their money, man. It says, Curtis Williams says, I was on the pipe while in the Air Force. I've been clean 22 years. I have an idea what you've been through. Oh, man. If you have never been any type of addiction, you can't imagine the road we walked down. He says, how much did the crack addiction cost back then? Everything, like it does today. I remember I was working at DuPont Chemicals, man. I had one of the best jobs in all of the United States, man, back in the early 90s. And I was getting paid, I was earning like $1,000 a week then. I'm talking about I was bringing home $1,000 every week after taxes. And it would be gone. I'd get paid on whatever the day was, the 15th, whatever it was. I'd get paid, man. That night I'd be broke. It's just something you can't imagine. You're like, and then you know how it is. It's the same as if anybody's gambled before. You go to the casino, you lose all your money, then you start thinking all the stuff you could have did with that money. Then you have to wait all the way to the next week. You promise yourself you're not going to do it. It's going to be different. But you've got an addiction. You don't even realize it. You know, you have something going on up here. So Thursday night before you get your paycheck, you've already spent it. It's already spent. You borrowing, you getting dope on credit because the dope man know you got a good job. Hey, Austin, he says, hey, Cal, is there a big expat community there where you are? It's not big, but it's a tight knit. Most of the expats here, they belong to a group called the Gentlemen's Club. And it's like a charitable organization. They do a lot around St. Carlos City. I didn't join it because then they would tie that in. The trolls would find some kind of way to tie that into my channel. But I applaud them for what they do. They do a lot. But they were shocked at what I was doing by myself. They can't imagine, what I do on my own. Well, what we do, really. Because anybody that watches this channel is part of what we do. But yeah, we help a lot of people over here, man. I think that's what I'm most proud of than anything about my channel. Because we're making a difference. We're not helping everybody, but man, we're making a difference over here. And I think I'm really proud of that. Because it's a real difference. When you see people show up and you give them those groceries or you give them that 1,000 pesos, man, you know from living over here the difference you're making. It's all the difference in the world, man, when somebody's hungry. The children don't have milk, diapers, or whatever. We're a bridge, is what we're trying to be. It's a bridge to help them get from one day to the next, 1 minute to the next. Hey, No the Lad says, hey, Cal, you're near St. Carlos City, right? Well, I'm actually here in St. Carlos City. Oh, sure. He says, I'm applying for grad school in Manila and St. Carlos. Well, you're probably talking about the St. Carlos up by Manila. He said, if accepted, is it fine if I speak to you over the phone or in person? Absolutely, man. He said, Kurt said, man, I smoke weed. I can imagine what that pipe would do to you. Now, you can't imagine if you've never been on it. Eli says, 24 years old and living in the Philippines as a digital nomad with my Filipino girlfriend of 2 years. Been in the Philippines for almost a month in Cebu. Life is good. I can imagine, man, you're way ahead of us to be 24 years old, living over here, living the type of life that you're living at 24. I was still chasing the American dream at 24. See, I never even imagined, I never saw it coming to where it is now. I mean, people are happy over there, but I just got to the point I was tired of just barely making it. I was earning enough to pay my bills and stuff like that. But with the job I had to stay on the wheel. I couldn't take a lot of time off. And that wheel, man, will grind you up, man. It'll kill you eventually. I've got a sister, she's 72. She's still on the wheel. I couldn't do it. How many people do you have to see that happen to before you make it up in your mind that it's real? That you're not going to be any different, really, unless you do something different. How many people you have to see get ground up on that wheel over and over and over, man? I can't imagine. Robert James says the Philippines is when America was. Let's just face it. But the Philippines, I'm going to tell you something. It's like getting in on the bottom floor right now of a great investment. Imagine if you just put your money in the bank 1 year ago, 1,000 pesos. Look at the interest it would have drawn just from the growth of the peso. Now, we're not going to talk about what is going to happen later on down the line. Your money's growing exponentially. And some guys over here, one guy, Darren Cooper, he said he gets $150 extra per week now on his pension. That's a lot of money. That's $600 extra per month. That's paying his condo bill probably. I mean, you just can't deny those real life figures like that. And even though inflation is only like 4%, the dollar's up almost 12% on the peso. So you're winning over here. Hey, D. Gordon, thank you, brother, for that super chat, man. He's a long-time supporter. He said, just wanted to thank you for all you do. I'm proud to be a part of the community. Man, we're proud to have you, man. And that's why I put those guys on my community page when they show up over here, man, because that's what we're trying to create. We need that over here in different places around the world. Filipinos have it. They've established it. If we can establish something just this tight, like the VFW and all of that, the American Legion up there in English City, see, they've got that kind of thing going on that if somebody falls, they'll help them. But we need the same thing, even just to meet together and talk and chat and just kick it around with each other, because that's missing over here. Man, I'm so happy that guys are coming over here the way they're coming over to see me now, because I can talk my language. They get what I'm saying. You know, like Michael Beach Alive, TJ. This is so many people that's come over. Robert White, Greg Williams, Vince Lawson, the Michael Gladney, man. They've all come over here. Devon Florence, and we kick it, man. I never had that before. It means a lot, guys. If you stay over here for 6 months to a year without that, you'll see how important it is. Hey, Eli said, love your video, Sunshine, my favorite blogger. I'm lucky to be able to chase the American dream rat race wheel while living here with my line of work. And I applaud you, man, really. If you're happy over there and everything's working out for you, it would be your heaven. And that's why some people don't leave their heaven. But it had become hell for me. I just wanted something different. Remember, I promised myself when I was little, I wanted to live somewhere where it never got cold. I'm talking about never got cold. I ain't talking about going down in the 50s and the 40s. I got friends that live in Jacksonville, Florida. They sending me pictures of frost and all that. I don't want to see nothing to do with frost. I want it warm all year round, and that's where I am now. See, that goes into it too. I like beautiful, sexy women who I don't have to beg and plead, who appreciate what I bring to their life. I got that. I want a place where I don't have to work like a Hebrew slave just to make ends meet. I got that, man. We don't know how many years we got left, man. We're living on borrowed time. I want to be happy, man. It makes a difference, man. Yeah, T. Holmes says that the rat race is rough on the body, and man, it is. And I applaud guys for just every day going into them jobs like that. Because everything's tied to the job. I remember I was getting my hair cut, barbershop over there. And there's a guy, he worked for Ford Motor Company. He'd been there like 20-something years. And I asked him, I said, man, how hard is it to work there? He had already gotten to the point where he's driving the truck now with the new cars on it, delivering it. But he said, Calvin, he says, we have to convince people to stay there past their first week. He said, it's hard. He says, it's a lot harder than what you think. That line don't stop. And he said, your hand, he said, after the first week, he said, your arms and hands, and talking about carpal tunnel, man, he said, you ain't never felt nothing like it. He said, we got big people to come back. And you would think, with a good job like that. But yeah, that's what I got tired of. I just saw too many people get ground up like that. And all for what? They never really escaped the hood, really. The Beach of Life says, can we get 10 people to follow this man? What is that? Is that Danny? He only needs 10 more people. Let's get that for him. Hey, Evan Rose says, a great segment today, brother. I'm here living in BGC now. happy as can be and looking forward to traveling down south to visit you sometime. Keep up the amazing work. Hey, thank you, Evan, man. I really appreciate that. BGC is another, man, that's another world, guys. If you come to the Philippines, you have to go to BGC. I want to thank Mark Rowland. When I came back from Thailand, he met me in Manila. He took me to BGC. I thought I was in Chicago or somewhere. Yusuf Amar Habib says that Evan Rose, you mind telling me what a minimum monthly budget is like to live in BGC? I know a guy, Anthony here, I won't say his last name. Well, he was a U.S. contractor here, and his job was paying for his rent in BGC, 100,000 pesos per month for a 2-bedroom apartment. If that would give you some type of idea. I mean, that's a lot, man. Yeah, see, here's what he's saying. He said, speaking of barbershop, he said, the barbershops here are world class. $20 for a cut, wash, shave, and massage. Epic service, yeah, $20. And BGC, the most expensive place in the Philippines, yeah. It's way up there. When he told me that, I was like, wow. Mike Dawson, Bill said, Brother Cal, come to South Florida. It never gets cold over here, similar to the Philippines. Now, y'all get some cool spells, man, down there. I remember, I mean, it don't get cold. I was in, what was I in? Fort Myers. Yeah, but see, hell, but you still got that price tag down there, brother, Mike. If I landed in America today, I'd have to start working in the morning. I'm not trying to do that, man. I put in my 40 years. How much more I got to put in? I already put in my 40 years. Robert Dane said, nothing wrong with being a dreamer. Would you rather be a miserable rich man or a miserable poor man? At least a poor man has hope things can get better. Yeah, that hope, man, never leaves. You know, that's the only thing that put me on that plane December 5th, 2018. A hope for a better life. Because I was done, man. I was stressed to the limit. I wasn't going to make it another day over in America. And I just wish that I would have been able to convince my wife at the time, my Filipino wife at the time, how bad things was. I don't think she really believed me. That's why after 6 months, she was ready to go back. And I'm like, I can't go back. What am I going back to? I gave away everything. You know, see, I made it look easy over there because I didn't want her to shoulder the burden. I hid a lot from her because I didn't want her to be 8,000 miles from home panicking, you know, but I had reached my limit. But I couldn't convince her, man. And, that's really what happened. Hey, DJ said, hello, my brother. You should write a book due to your remarkable triumph now. I'm a new subscriber to your Sunshine Family content. Hey, I appreciate it, man. And, I'm working on it a little bit at a time. I'm procrastinating on that. But I'm reading this Will Smith book. And that's all he's doing. It's just talking about his general life. It's starting out slow. A lot slower than I thought it was. And that's the reason why I've been kind of putting it down, picking it up, putting it down. It's not like that book, Tookie Williams. It started out fast. But this Will Smith book is starting out. But you're right. But the thing about it is, when you write books, people won't read them. 57% of Americans never pick up another book once they graduate from high school. That's just an unbelievable. I didn't believe that when I first heard it. I looked it up and I found it out to be true. Eli says, I plan to live in the U.S. with my Filipino girlfriend for around 10 to 15 years. It does have its perks with job opportunities. Hate to see my girlfriend be exploited by employees here, but definitely want to retire young in the Philippines. And it's all, everybody has a different story. Imagine if I'm Stephon Curry or LeBron James. I don't think I'd be complaining about much right now, in the way that they treat athletes and entertainers over there. But as far as just a regular citizen, see, we had a lot, man. We make it look like things are a whole lot better than they are over there. We're great actors over there. Because at the end of the day, man, the numbers don't lie. I mean, if you want to stay in the hood, even the hood is getting expensive. If you want to drive around in that used Cadillac or Mercedes and BMW and think you're doing something, man, pretending. See, I got tired of pretending. Life goes by too quick to be pretending. I want to really live. And since the whole earth is ours, who says you have to be stuck in one place for your entire life? Where's it written there? The religious people say that, this is God's earth. Well, hell, the rich people have saying something else. All this nationalism that has risen up in these past few years, I should be able to live anywhere I please. And that's just the way I look at it. I'm not unpatriotic. I just, to live the lifestyle I want to live with my own house like I have here, paid for in full. I don't have to worry about it. If she kicks me out, okay, so what? I go somewhere, I build it again. No bills coming in because they're constantly coming in over there. I'm kicked back, I'm stress-free over here, basically. This is the life I always dreamed of living. Why would I give up my dream to go back there and just to prove, I can make it? I did that for 55 years. I proved I can make it over there. Morris American said, I saw a one-bedroom apartment online in Cebu for $85. Was I reading that right? Yeah, you was reading that right. But you know what? What does it include? You can, down in Zamboanga where I was living, they had an apartment over there. Well, really, it was a house. It was 1,800 pesos per month. What's that? About $35 per month. I mean, but you're gonna have to fix it up. And then you're going to be living basically on top of other people, all the side of you. But you can do it if you want to do it. Okay, monthly budget, Evan says in BGC, $35,000. This is his rent with an unobstructed golf course view. About $600 rent in the middle of everything, restaurant, shopping, entertainment, nightlife. Yeah, but see, that's what's going to cost you, Evan, the everything. We can afford the rent, but it's the everything that's going to mess us up. Because we're going to get around everything and we're going to want it. The restaurants, because, we had a nice barbecue place there. I can't think of the name of it. But that's what gets people over here. It's the everything. That's why when they ask me about, what's my budget over here, well, how much I need, I don't know what your everything is. I know what your rent is, your utilities, your water, if you want internet, a cable, but it's the everything that scares me about you. David Rodriguez says, what's good, Cal? I served almost 10 years in the United States Navy. Hoo-yah, I was medically retired, 28 years old. I'm now 36, which is young. But it took losing everything for me to leave the States, but I did. And a lot of times that's what it takes, David Rodriguez. It takes what it takes. If you ever, get to that fork in the road, which a lot of us are fortunate enough to do where you have to make a choice. Either, you're going to keep on the way you going to the bitter end, or you're going to do something different. Some people are fortunate enough they never get to that point, or they're unfortunate enough, rather. They got it so good, they're so their life is so comfortable, or they're being, they're either in denial or all the reality is hidden from you. But see, once you wake up over there, there's no going back to sleep. Cool Cat said, you still pay fees per square meter every month, even if you own condo outright. I don't know about owning a condo, but I know you do. Most of these places have a condo. They have their condo fees for the common areas. Now, how much they are, I don't know. But yeah, you still have to pay that. Yeah, he said, yeah, my brother, that everything can be the killer. And it usually is, Evan, over here. This is why I don't really, when guys ask me that, I said, that's the only question about the Philippines I can't answer. How much you're going to need every month to live here, because I don't know your everything. If I did, it'd be a different story. But it really doesn't take a whole lot to live over here, really, and to live a decent life. Because by the time you reach an age where you can retire, you should have already done all that other stuff. Are you going to live by yourself? Are you going to have a live-in? Are you going to have a maid? Are you going to live in the city? I mean, right in the city. Because, man, I told you this guy that lives in Cebu, he's got a nice condominium, 2-bedroom. But hell, he's paying 40 grand, 40,000 pesos per month for that thing in the Philippines. See, that's a lot, man. What are you going to do, with that? But yeah, that's what he said. For me, Cebu is very enticing and strategic. Man, Cebu is all that, man. I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion. When you move from America to Cebu, you're not giving up a whole lot. You're not giving up a whole lot, man. Everything you can do in Las Vegas, you can do in Cebu. You can gamble. You can do it all, man. It's not a whole lot that you can't do there. It's just, the cost of living is a lot less. See, the Beach of Life says, I live in a very nice condo in Cebu. The condo dues are 3,000 pesos per month. That's not bad. That's about $50 right now at the going rate. Well, yeah, he said, Yusuf Omar Habib says, why have a maid, especially when living in a small and normal sized place? It's not like we're living in huge mansions. Well, see, the maid over here, first of all, you're helping somebody, you're giving them a job, which you don't have to do. Remember, time is money. Everything you're going to have to pay for, you can have her do. I mean, if you want to clean yourself and wash your own clothes and all that, that's fine. But if you can pay a woman $5,000 per month to do all of that, where you can have your time freed up to do other things, then why not? She's going to cook, she's going to clean, she's going to do it all. And you're going to help her family at the same time. She's going to take out the garbage. She's going to do everything. You don't have to do anything. See, we have, believe it or not, I've got 3 maids. I got 3 helpers here, but they're all part-time. None of them are full-time. They're part-time. Cost me about $11,000 per month. Not even $200 per month. And I don't have to lift a finger here to do nothing. And you say, well, it's going to make you lazy. No, I got my workout routine. I'm going to do all that. I've got some self-discipline. But I didn't come over here to work. I mean, I'm living the life I've always dreamed of living. If I were to take my lifestyle here and transfer it over to my home country of America, man, I'd have to be earning about over 200,000 a year. Oh yeah, he said, I think it's rainy season over in Thailand. He said Calvin, Thailand has had some serious flooding the past 2 weeks. I belong to a group, brothers and sisters in Thailand, on Facebook, and they've been showing a lot of pictures there. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know, is that just coming from the rain, or is that the infrastructure? What is that? The reality of it says, sounds like Dumageddon in the era is more humble. It's just a lot smaller. It is a lot humbler than Cebu. Cebu is big. Cebu has anywhere from 4 to 6 million people, where Dumageddon has about 130,000 residents. But in a 24-hour period, 440,000 people come through Dumageddon on a 24-hour period. Visitors, tourists, business, deliveries, and all of that. It's a lot smaller. It is a lot humbler living. What is the estimated USD cost a month to live in the Philippines comfortably with the same comforts of the States? I would say, a lot of these guys that come over here, they rent these condominiums, and they can get pretty high, man. These condominiums over here are somewhere around, I know Franz was paying like $650 a month for his, but he had a big, I wouldn't consider it a one bedroom, but it was a big studio. But he's right there in Cebu. But remember, all his utilities is paid for. That's everything included in that. So see, that makes a difference. His water, his electricity is all built into that. So that's $650 for that. Now it's his everything. What is that? Him being a young man, he drinks, he goes out. See, it's hard to say. I would say at least, $2,500. $2,500 US dollars. You should be able to live comfortably anywhere in the Philippines, because the Philippine Statistics Authority says that if you earn $3,808 per month in the Philippines, you're considered rich. So if you have $2,500, man, you're up there. You're close to being rich. When the average salary here is $250 per month. So you're 10 times over that. And they're living comfortably, man. That's a good job over here in the Philippines. If you earn, Marilyn, as a bookkeeper with a college degree, normally she was earning about $7,500. Then whatever outside work she was doing, I'm going to say, let's say 10,000 to 12,000 pesos per month. That's a good job, but you can have a motorcycle, you can have an apartment. It just depends on what your everything is. See, that's what's going to get you, man. Are you going to be on Walking Street every day? You going to go out every day? They got Mango Square in Cebu. Are you going to take trips all the time? Because that can get tricky. You're paying $650 per month for a condominium. And then wherever you go in these places, Boracay and all that, you got to pay to stay somewhere. See, that's when it gets expensive. You got to come over here and figure out what it is you're going to do. What do you mean a comfortable lifestyle? If you're just going to take, like you do at home in America, you're going to take one vacation every year. See, that's not enough for me. But that's all I could do over there. You get 2 weeks per year over there, and that's a big deal. That's not enough, man. Eli says, I paid 10,000. Okay, now what are you talking about? 10,000 pesos or 10,000? You have to be talking about pesos for a month stay at a decent hotel in Cebu. We would travel to Palawan, Thailand for 1 month. Then I'll find an apartment in Cebu for about 6 months. Yeah, Cebu was great. Yeah, I love Cebu. Lee 1190 says, hey Calvin, what do you think about working remotely while living in the Philippines? A lot of people do that. I've got a guy who he's retired. He earns about $2,000 per month over here, but the company is in America. It's a survey company. He earns about $2,000 per month remotely working over here. You just have to get you a place with good Wi-Fi. And you can get that just about anywhere now in the Philippines. You know, here we got good Wi-Fi here. You can see it. I've got good Wi-Fi here now that we're, settled in. We got that PLDT. We pay about $40, less than $40, about 30. I'm going to say about $30 now, with the exchange rate being what it is. We pay about $30 for the Wi-Fi. But you see a lot of younger people over here now. They call them, are they what, digital nomads? Is that what they call them? Hey, Austin in Mississippi, thanks for that super sticker. Oh, okay. You're saying 10,000 pesos. A lot of times when you go to these hotels, and especially these pension houses, you can ask them how much will they charge you for a long-term stay of a month, because they rather have some money than no money. And depending how popular the place is, if they're charging you $20 a day, then that's what, $600 per month. They may let you get that for $400 per month. It just all depends. Hey, what's up, Quintessential One? Thanks, brother. Peace and blessings to you too, man. Hey, John Gomez, thanks for that super chat. He said digital nomads. Yes, sir. Yes, a lot of, you see it more in Thailand. I saw so many young expats over there. You have to mainly go into the tourist areas and like the big cities over here before you see that. You don't see very few. Vince Lawson, he's 33, I think, but he's medically retired from the military. He wouldn't be considered a digital nomad. He lives here, and he's had to make an adjustment because he's young. I would see him living more in Cebu or Manila than St. Carlos City, but he likes it here. So if it works for him, at 33, no way I could live in St. Carlos City. Not with my lifestyle. The reality of it says, yeah, can afford to own a motorbike. Absolutely. You can buy a motorbike. You can buy a car here. It's just the land that you're going to have a problem really bad. You can buy a condominium over here outright, and it's yours. But yeah, you can buy a motorcycle. You can own that. They'll probably even give it to you on consignment. Because there's not many credit bureaus and all that over here. It's more reputation than anything. Because where we bought Marilyn's last 2 motorcycles, she was buying, when I met her, she had a motorcycle. She was still paying on it. So we paid that off. So the next time she comes in, they'll just give her credit. But we never pay over 90 days because I don't want that. I don't want those bills. See, those bills give me a headache. They create stress. So I don't want bills. It says, can you own property outright in the Philippines? Is there a lease clause? Most of us signed a sugar contract. Foreigners, there's a lease clause. There'd be something to talk to a lawyer about, but for the most part, under normal circumstances, you can't own land. Now, condominium, yeah. Can you lease land? Yeah, you can lease land over here. But do we ever really own land? We got to pay property. As long as you're paying taxes, you don't really own it, because if you don't pay the taxes, they're going to take it from you. But, I know what you're saying. But if you really want to own land, I don't think the Philippines is a place where you really want to be located then, if that's your goal, is to own land over here. You have to look at their history to understand why that's not going to happen. The Philippines really, had I not met Marilyn and Booby wasn't born, I'd be renting. Even though I've always wanted, she just gave me the opportunity to build the house that I said I was going to build when I lost, well, I didn't lose my house, when the bank foreclosed on my house in 2011. She just gave me an opportunity to do it, to fulfill that dream right there. John Gomez said, that's where I'm at now, Cal. My effing bills are killing me. Rat Race Central will finish that soon. Can't wait. Yeah, my bills. I mean, how good of a job do you have to have over there? And how much money are you going to have left? Okay, you figure, just say, let's be generous and say you're earning $20 an hour. You're working 40 hours a week. That's $800. What are they going to take out of that? Taxes? 200 or more? What they leave? Let's just say 250. Will they take that? No, that's too much. Yeah, no, they'll take about 240. That leaves you with $560 per week over there. That's if you're earning $20 per hour, which I would say that's a good salary, right, over there in America. And then, okay, so that gives you about what, $2,500 per month after taxes. Half of that's going to go to rent. Most of that's going to be eaten up. If you find yourself robbing Peter to pay Paul, that's what we were doing over there. The only thing I really paid on time consistently over there was my rent. Everything else, it was always a little late. Not to the point where get my electric cut off or my water cut off, but it's like, I earned a little bit more than that. And my money was, I was paid on commission. So I was getting paid. I have to pay my own taxes. I'm a 1099. So I'd have more money up front until the end of the year. But you just don't have a lot to work with over there because of the inflation. The money being worth what it is, that's all an illusion. It's saying, that the dollar's worth 33 cents what it was in 1984. What kind of crazy stuff is that? Brown Chapman said, Calvin, I know that some hotels in some countries have plumbing problems. They don't allow you to flush toilet paper down to the system. This is common in the Philippines. Well, I flush my toilet paper. They basically don't want you to flush, the roll, the napkins, the feminine napkins and all that. But you're not going to wipe your butt and put that in the garbage can. Hey, Lynn and Robert from the Philippines, how you doing? Are y'all here? Hello. Alahai 2012 says, hey, Calvin, how are you? I'm 38. I've saved $500,000. Is that enough to live forever in the Philippines? What do you mean forever? Till you get your, if you take your Social Security at 62, that'll be 24 years. Yeah, if you're earning interest off your principal. So if you, what do you plan on spending? 2,000 per month, so that would be what? 24,000 per year. That would give you 20 years. But if you're earning interest, you might sneak in there if you're earning 20,000. But if you break it down to 1,500, now you're looking at 18,000 per year. Now you can make it. Well, I'm sure that you would be earning some type of interest on your principal. One click video said, "You're still rich, Calvin. Richness of life is measured by much more than money." Oh, absolutely. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what my whole spiel is about. Yeah, I'm rich because it's relevant. I'm just not rich monetarily. And I couldn't even get rich over in America because of the stress. I couldn't get rich, there was no richness in life over there. But yeah, that's the true riches of life. Napoleon Hill made a list. Money was like 7. We think money's at the top, but it's really not. Money's like number 7, the true riches of life. People don't realize how important, your health is. Loving relationships, self-expression. It's a lot that comes before money. But we make the mistake, we put money up here, and that's why we have so many problems. Because we neglect everything else chasing money. I learned that too late. Had I learned it earlier, maybe I'd still be in America. But I learned it too late. Robert Dane says, "Where's the best pizza?" They've got a lot of nice pizza places here. I like Yellow Cab in Dumagetti, Cebu, wherever you can find it. But they've got Greenwich. But Yellow Cab is about the closest to American pizza I've tasted. Now, I know if you get up there by Manila and different places like that, you're going to find better pizza. English City, wherever you see a lot of foreigners, because some of them probably own bars, pubs, and they'll sell pizza and be more like what you're used to eating. But here it's a little different. There's not as much cheese on these pizzas as they are in America. And he said, "I get a G per month. Am I rich?" Well, what do you mean? Rich as far as what? Over here, if you put that $1,000 per month in a Filipino's hand, they're going to be a whole lot, it's going to go a whole lot further than in your hand. But one thing I like to remind people is we always try to get something for nothing. There's some sacrifices you have to make. Sacrifice just simply means things you don't want to do, but are necessary for you to do to keep whatever it is you're trying to keep going, relationship, lifestyle, whatever it is. You got to make some sacrifices when you come over here. There's a lot that I go without over here. Not a whole lot, but it's a lot. T-bone steaks. I love T-bone steaks. There's a lot of things that I like to do over in America that I can't do here. But that's a trade-off. I make a lot of sacrifices. Geechee Lance said, "Calvin is certainly rich versus poor and broke over in my world. I'm working to regain improved health and sufficient money. Relationships are out of the question here." Yes, they've got that relationship thing kind of turned upside down over in America. I don't get it. I lost. I've been out of the loop for a long time, but man, I look over there and it's just crazy. You have to. They want you to be with people your same age, and I don't think that's fair because men and women we don't age the same. I showed y'all the picture of the woman I went to the prom with. I'm sorry, she's a lot older than what I'm wanting right now in my life. I'll show y'all her. And she's a nice woman and she's married. She's got her husband loves her. But yeah, it's kind of messed up over there. Well, I don't know if y'all can see that. But see that I don't want that, guys. I'm sorry. And I'm not putting her down. She's a really nice lady. But that's what most of the women in America my age look like. They're older than us. We don't age the same. We have something called testosterone. He said, Robert Dean, where's the best pizza? Sorry, only in Italy. In the Philippines, the pizzas are so sweet. But not over in Italy. I was shocked. We were in Italy. We went to Naples, Italy. And I'm thinking, oh man, I'm gonna get these nice pizzas. If you want the best pizza, you go to Chicago, probably. It's the best pizza I've ever had was in Chicago. But Italy, no, man, I was so disappointed. And that's when in my drinking days, we're thinking we're going to get this big deep dish pizza. Oh, we get this little, the dough was just so ridiculous. It was like, that bread that they give you on the Lord's Supper, them little things that you buy. That's what the crust was. But we were drunk and we were hungry, so hell. We ended up eating it, but I was shocked. I was like, pizza was actually invented in China. Marco Polo brought it back to Europe, and then we Americanized it. Is what we did. The pizza we're used to eating is Americanized. Was he a minimalist? Yeah. John was frugal. John was almost cheap. That's why he had all that money saved up. And I used to ask him. I mean, you gotta realize John never bought any new clothes. The whole time, a lot of them shirts you saw John with, I gave them to him. People would send them to me. They were too small for me. I would give them to John. But he wore the same, for the whole time, I knew John for about a year and a half. He wore the same clothes. We went to Bucolic one time. He supposed to went to buy clothes. He didn't buy nothing. I think he ended up buying some flip-flops or something. But yeah, John he was just cheap, man, to be honest with you. He, the things that he liked, he didn't deny himself, though. He had a big stock of liquor and cigarettes and stuff like that. But everything else, yeah, John was really, remember his living room set. Remember when I showed y'all his apartment? He had a dining room table in his living room. That's all he had. And the refrigerator. He didn't have any living room furniture or anything like that. Well, I couldn't do that. He said, can someone compare Vietnam to the Philippines? I've never been to Vietnam. Evan says, yeah, man, why have that when you can have way better, brother? We men definitely don't age the same as women. We don't. And they have an advantage growing up. Just think about it. When those young girls, the young ones you liked when you were growing up, they didn't want you. You were too young for them. They wanted somebody older. See, my heart was broken. The woman, my first girlfriend, man. Okay, I was 16, but she wanted a guy who was like 20. You know, he had a car and he had, you know, he was way ahead of me. He was older than me. Yeah, John was very content, but he asked me, was he a minimalist? And I said, yeah, because, you know, John, you know, he invested very well. And but he just didn't spend it. He bought that car finally because he, you know, John didn't want to wait on the buses over here. You know, the lockdowns, Philippines had one of the strictest lockdowns, and he couldn't get around like he needed to. See, him and Janessa, they used to sneak in. When they had that car, they would sneak in to where she lived in that car. It wasn't supposed to. Sometimes that border would be closed, but they found a way to get past that. It would have never happened on the bus. And she wanted a house, though. When she came to our housewarming, she told John, she said, I want a house. Yeah, you can get all that over here. Any liquor you want, you can buy that over here. And see, John was a connoisseur of beer. John used to make his own beer and alcohol when he was in America. So he knew it. But John would take pictures of the liquor and show me, say, yeah, Calvin, they sell this over at the Save More or anything like that. But yeah. Okay, says we like living in the country where we enjoy the tranquility in contrast to a city. That's what I like about San Carlos City, the peace and tranquility. I'm 59. If I was 49 or even 39, I'd probably be in Cebu. But I like the peace here. The crime is just so low. See, I can't deal with traffic now. I mean, I'm real impatient with the traffic. So there's no traffic here at all. But I do have to go to Bacala or Cebu when there's certain things I need because it's just not here. I said, would you be interested in an AI, artificial intelligence persona of yourself to answer questions from viewers 24 hours a day on YouTube? I don't know. I don't think so. Helia 2012 says, which part of the Philippines has the best one? They're all over, man. There's no one Philippines. I like to remind people of that. The Philippines is just as diverse as the United States. I know you don't believe me, but it is. It's all spread out. Philippines all came together under the Filipino flag that we know now to fight the Spanish. Before the Spanish came over here, it was all separate. Negroes was separate. There was no Negroes. The Spanish explorers named it Negroes. Negroes Occidental, Negroes Oriental, because when they saw the people, they called them Negroes. But it was none of that before. But yes, it's different everywhere you go. They speak different languages, different dialects. They cook the food different and all of that. It's all different. Oh, man, that would be nice. Start a book club. I already tried that in the Philippines. I said, anybody in the Philippines who likes to read, who has some books, because I've got about, let's see, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got about 10 books now, and they're all good books. They're either autobiography or self-help genre. I don't really like I can't read fantasy and stuff like that, even though that's popular. I can't read like Harry Potter and all that. I don't get into that. But I like to read about extraordinary people. I like to read about their lives, what made them extraordinary. I read The Long Journey Home, The Long Walk Home, the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. It's a big book, man, but it's worth it if you can get it. He was so early in his career, he was a lawyer. He was so dedicated that he wore the same suit every single day for 5 years in order to save enough money to build his family their first home. Imagine that. He wore the same suit of clothes every single day for 5 years in a row. Let that marinate in your mind and show you how dedicated and how disciplined and how focused some people are. Some people can be toward reaching their goals, man. And, it was interesting the time that he did in prison. It softened him. They really broke him down, really, in prison. And that's a fact. He wasn't the same man coming out of there, but who would be after 27 years or whatever it was? But he's got an extraordinary story, man. And those are the type of people I like to read about. I read, Teddy Pendergrass. If you ever heard of Teddy Pendergrass, the singer, it's called Truly Blessed, man. It's a great book. I didn't realize Teddy Pendergrass was so young when he had that accident because I was a teenager, and 30 to me was old. Teddy was 31 when he had that accident, man. He was young. He's still in the prime of his life, man, when he had that accident. Hey, what's up, Freddie Sanders? It's the funniest man on YouTube. He finally got his wife over to the America, and they're going through some growing pains, man. Just be patient, But you got fortunate. Well, not really, because y'all started the process before the pandemic. And then the pandemic slowed up everything. But the minute it was over with, I think you was able to get her over there. But how's it working out, man? It's more good than bad. But when you watch my video, am I lying about what happens when the Filipino comes to America? Yeah, it's a good book, man. It's a great book. And I'm reading about, even though Will Smith was controversial with that slap, but hell, look at his life for 30 years before the slap. I'm just trying to see most of what extraordinary people have in common, man, is they have a laser focus. I was watching something on YouTube, TikTok, came across my feed on Facebook, where Allen Iverson was talking about the difference between Kobe Bryant and even him and a lot of the players in that era. He said, we'd be out at the nightclub, we'd be in the clubs. He said, Kobe Bryant be in the gym. He said, dude was different, man. He said, that's what separated him from the rest of the players. He said, even myself. See, they go that extra mile. They forgo that instant gratification. Most of the people, they have that laser focus. Of course, they have talent, but talent alone is not enough, guys. Oh, Freddie Sanders said, yes, true. It's growing pains in a relationship, but moving forward, yeah. I know that it's a big deal to do that, man, to really be a part of a life-changing experience like that. When you get somebody that visa, man, it's nothing to play with, guys. That's a serious deal. Honestly. I mean, I know you're proud, man, and eventually it's going to pay off for you, man. It paid off for me, man. It's just that I just think that I could not convince my wife of just how done with America I was. You know, it wasn't like we could have never went back, but we had been over there for 4.5 years, and I guess she just fell in love with it, and she just didn't want to come back here to live. I couldn't convince her. I said, look, we're going to live in the Philippines, but not like you're used to living. But yeah, a girl Stiphock said, yeah, Teddy Pendergrass crashed his car. Yeah, it was a Rolls Royce on Lincoln Drive in Philadelphia. I ride that every day going to and from work. Yeah, and eventually he got money from Rolls Royce because there was something about the brakes malfunctioned in that car. And he eventually won like 4.6 million or something like that. But he was young. And I didn't realize how young he was until I read that book. Because, you know, when I was 18, hell, he was 30. When 31, I was like, well, hell, that's old. But I know now 30 is nothing. 30 is very young. But yeah, guys, I got to get off here. It's that time. I appreciate y'all. All your super chats, your super stickers, your thumbs up. All your support of Sunshine Shows. You're really going to get a kick out of this next video, man. It's going to be, I'm going to give you the title of it. Even though I know that they're watching, they're going to try to do something. I'm going to give you the 9 green flags. Not red flags, but green flags. Green means go, means pursue. It says 9 green flags that she's the one, you know, for you. Our name is, it's going to be something like that. But I'm going to give you the green flags. Everybody talks about the red flags. And this is just from my perspective of being around Filipinos for over 13 years. You know, how the things you can look for in a woman. If you see any of these, or a combination of them, you know, you may want to pursue that. You may want to continue to deal with that and let it grow because, yeah, Filipinos are women, but they're different, guys. They are from what we're used to in the West. And when we bring our thinking over here and we treat them like we do the women in America or England or whatever, we expect from them the same things over there. See, we miss something. If you're looking for the same thing in a woman over here as you are over there, you're going to miss something. And this is what I want you to do. This is what I want to kind of just give you some things to look for. So look for that. And to that guy, Collectibles and You, that video I got is coming up. The threesome. You, her, and her phone. That's coming. I got that. And then I'm going to have a video. It's going to be, he left the United States. He left at 55. He left the United States to live in the Philippines. And now he's living, you know, a life of his dreams for less than $2,500 a month. I'm going to do that. That's going to be real interesting. Okay, I got that idea. I was on the bus yesterday. But okay, guys, take care. Wait, I forgot. I got to play my theme song. The panel is on Tuesdays, guys. But yeah, I actually had Big Shirley. But she wasn't Big Shirley when I took her to the prom. She was actually nice looking. And she asked me, by the way. We had a science class together.
Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Yeah, Mike, I'm going to leave with this. He's true. He said, Philippines will change your perspective in life. Philippines really humbled me. It is. You can't change the Philippines, but the Philippines will change you. You can't come here and stay for any considerable period. When you go back home, it's never going to be the same, guys. Take care, everybody. I'll see y'all again.